Shot for real?
Like, all right, dude, you got me.
Where are you gonna buy you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But the point is that you have to. I mean, that's entertaining the ludicrous, the silly. You know, you're going off the charts there, but you have to entertain. Aside from getting to the ridiculous, you have to entertain all possibilities. Some people, you know, they don't like the idea of training knife because when is that ever going to happen? And I look at them like they're cross-eyed. What are you talking about? That is definitely a possibility. You know, oh, we're never going to encounter a knife. Sensei, come on, this isn't going to happen in a fight. It just blows my mind. You know, I didn't come here. I had a woman. I didn't come here to learn about firearms. Yes, you did. Like, I don't know what else to say. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you
did. You just don't know it.
Yes, no. Yeah. Listen, here's the thing.
It's all connected.
You know, here's the thing, lady. If it was up to you, a person who doesn't know anything about martial arts, to decide what to learn about martial arts, well, that's just doomed to fail.
Yeah, you might as well teach yourself.
Yeah, just do that then. You know better. You know better because you know better because you don't know martial arts.
Wow.
Therefore, you know what you should learn and what you shouldn't learn. That makes sense.
So the best thing to do then is to come to the dojo with a clear and open mind.
You know, they used to say it back in the day. They've said it for decades. Empty your cup.
Yeah, so it can be filled.
You know?
That's ancient. Yeah, man.
I think the ancients had a point.
Definitely.
Just a few.
And you'll see them acted out in this video. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out.
Yeah.
YouTube /sogobujutsu.
And then that's, the recent one. I think, what do we call it? What do we name it?
Sogobujutsu, a look at one technique.
That's right.
It's really cool. It just finished.
A look at one technique. Feel for what we're doing by looking at one thing. So no one's getting confused. No one's seeing an array of. I used to try to wow people with, well, look at 100 techniques. I'm gonna do 200 techniques. Let me show you them. People, what is that? What is all that? You just kind of get lost.
That is true. I think when we do demonstrate, and when I first joined the dojo, there was and even still when I go to class and you're teaching, I get lost in the several different techniques that we do, and I go and I'm like, wait, what was that technique we did 3 techniques ago?
Right.
You get lost.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to do that anymore.
I mean, it's great though because we get to see so much.
You want to, it's like you got to temper it.
Yeah.
You want to do that, but you don't want to do that. You want to do it, but not too much.
But then what happens? Don't you fall into it? Don't you later on like,
yeah.
Oh wait.
You can't help it because every technique is the same. One of my favorite sayings, if not my favorite saying that my sensei ever said to me was, I probably said this on the show already, but he said to me, one day you're going to come to me and you're going to ask for all your money back. And I said, why would I do that, Sensei? That's silly. And he says, because you think I'm teaching you thousands of different techniques, and I'm really only teaching you one. And I did come to that day, and as a joke, I asked him for my money back. It's true, there really is only one technique. Out of the thousands and thousands of techniques, it's all governed by the same principles, the same concepts. You're doing the same thing to the body over and over again, a million different ways, but you're doing the same thing.
So it's almost like a tornado. It's like everything is connected to the eye, but it can be a mess of stuff going on, but it's always... Is that a good analogy,
Human
guys?
tornado.
I'm trying to...
Did you ever see The Human Tornado?
The Human Tornado.
Oh, man.
It's a movie? I think
It's probably one of the greatest films of all time.
If you haven't seen it, check it out. Pretty funny.
Yeah, the human tornado. That's a Dolomite film.
Oh man!
If you ever like
70s, if you like 70s films,
yes,
check it out.
70s wannabe kung fu flicks.
Oh gosh, it's hilarious.
Oh, that is a topic for another time.
Oh gosh,
we could get lost in that.
Oh gosh, have a beer to that.
Oh,
what, some kind of.
Bring a case.
Yeah, alcoholic beverage.
Just to get through it.
Cause seriously, it's just to get through it. It's long too.
Oh gosh, it's so long.
In any case, what Sensei is, what I'm hearing here is he's saying basically that as soon as you learn one technique, you've learned them all.
That is the plan, man. Now, you got to stick around to understand that application and develop that skill. But the thing is that the skill that you learn in one technique, you will apply that same skill set, that same knowledge base, that same motion and reaction to every technique that you're taught. So if you're training one thing, you will invariably be training everything.
I think what I like about training too is that in this art, you like you just said, you're invariably training everything, because you'll get a grab, or you'll get positioning, and you tenkai and something happens. Like the art does it for you, as long as you've done it, as long as you stick to it and do it every day. Like,
stick to the principles.
And maybe I haven't taken this too far, some practitioners don't, but when I'm walking outside, I feel like I'm training, and when I'm grabbing things, I look at it as a weapon, even if it's not. And you know,
it always is.
It always is.
Always.
It becomes that. It wasn't that way before I started training with you guys, and in this art, but it is so, it almost changes you completely, and it's for the better, because you feel so much more comfortable in so many different situations. Even if I was blindfolded, can I say that? I mean, I don't want to sound pompous, but if I were blindfolded and got grabbed, I would know what to do. I mean, my body would react, the art would come out.
In which it is trained.
Yeah.
I'm going to tattoo it on people's chests.
What is that saying again? That's the one I was trying to figure out.
The body will react to the method in which it is trained.
And I think what Sensei did best for me was he broke me of the things that I would do that would harm me if I were attacked.
Well, that's the difficulty, is that when you have a technique that, well, that's going to work, but you can't do it against a knife attack. Well, that's going to work, but you don't want to do it when somebody's choking you.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard that all the time. You know, well, that's a good technique, but you don't want to do it in this situation. If you don't want to do it in this situation, then why are you training it? Why are you training it at all? I don't. It's like, is there any situation? Let's just bring the sogobujutsu concept into play. Is there any situation in which you wouldn't want a loaded gun? See, loaded gun's really simple. You point it, and people die. So, this is an example of sogobujutsu. When that person's coming at you with a knife, bam. When that person is coming at you with a punch, bam. When that person's coming at you,
I like that.
Drawing another gun,
it is like that.
If that person is swinging a baseball bat, bam. If that person's, running at you because he's a lunatic, bam. That's the plan. There's never a time where you're like, well, you really wouldn't want to use bullets, because that would just be horrible. That would just ruin. It has to be simplistic like that. It has to work like that. Now let's bring it to the knife. If that person's throwing a punch, you cut the punch. If that person's trying to headbutt you, you cut the headbutt. If that person's grabbing you, you cut the grab. If that person is, and that's sogobujutsu, that's the simplest part. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced version of it here. But that's it. If now you have a stick, okay? And someone's throwing a punch, you crack them with the stick. If that person's throwing a kick, you crack the kick with a stick. If the person's trying to stab you with a knife, you crack that knife hand with a stick. God, it's basic.
It almost sounds, but it almost sounds mystical. It's so deep that it almost sounds mystical. The weapon is sogobujutsu.
Yes.
I am sogobujutsu.
Yes.
You become sogobujutsu.
Yes.
And then when you have a weapon, this is an extension of sogobujutsu.
Yes.
But it almost sounds mystical.
Every lock, every throw, every joint lock, every pressure point, nerve point, every strike, this is now
an extension of that. And it's so true. It is so true.
So there's never something that, you're learning, let's say, Boshiken, that's our fist, right? Oh, but now I'm holding a pen, so I wouldn't do that. No, now you're holding a pen, so you definitely would do that. Well, I was learning a grab, I was learning a grab. The person was throwing a punch, I was learning a strike here, and I was drawing it in and learning this grab. Well, now that I have a pen, I'm going to move completely different. No, you strike here, and there's your